community, and that's generational wealth. Too often we see us mismanaging our money. Now, I'm not here to say that it's only us mismanaging our money, but we're doing it too often where it's warranting a conversation. You understand? Like, example, you got GoFundMe accounts for life insurance. That's not okay. Or you got people getting $8,000 back a year on their income taxes and buying Louis Vuitton bags and red bottom shoes when you and your girl go get $8,000 each when you both can put that money together and buy a building. Live rent free. So it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. So these two gentlemen are very successful within their rights. So, and I also have a few industry professionals, people who are absolutely fantastic at what they do. So we're going to let you talk to the pros, but I wanted to kind of just get the conversation started with these two gentlemen right here because they're obviously good at what they do. So I'll start with, if you don't mind, Lamman. Okay. We're going to start with, hey, Vivian, I was just talking about you. Speaking of, GoFundMe as a insurance. But anyway, we'll get to so everyone is here now. This is great. So let's start with you, Kevin. And as an elected official in a community, some areas are doing well, some areas not so much. So what are your views and thoughts on generational wealth?
My thoughts in the general sense is that we need to do a better job securing the value that we have from one party to the next party, whether that's generation to generation or just saying, I'm going to give it to my brother because I don't want to deal with it anymore. We have to have, make sure that our legal is in order, our accounting is in order, because the IRS is not a game. And if you don't handle your paperwork the right way, neither are the taxes in the local municipalities. So they'll come and get you with fines and so forth. So we have to make sure that people own the basic things when it comes to whether it's real estate, running a company, paying taxes, because these local municipalities will come and get you, and they will just double, quadruple. And with that being said, we also have to learn to collaborate a lot more frequently. We all have some fantastic skill sets, and then if we focus on everything that we are the best at, and complement that with someone else and what they're the best at, we have an entire team moving towards the goal. That's why you see football teams having a multitude of different skill sets. You don't have any football team that's all linemen or all receivers because it wouldn't work. They would instantaneously lose. So you got to take that same type of teamwork mentality into your business, into your life, because it works better that way. So says my grandma.
He said, so says my grandma. I love it. So let's talk about paying it forward. One thing about you, Lamman, you're literally a jack of all trades. Your hand is in everything. We constantly see you attached to different organizations where you're giving back. You're talking about mental illness. You're talking about wealth. You're a philanthropist. You're an educator, because that's something I didn't know until I read up on you. You actually started as an educator, and you have a master's in education. That's quite impressive. So once again, this is someone who is literally a celebrity, a well-known celebrity. I mean, my mom's been watching you since all my children. Like, for real, for real. We've been watching Lamman. How many of you been watching Lamman since all my children?
It's all mine anyway.
So he's someone. I know. So as a person who's been in the industry, for so long, and the saying, actors, they hit or miss sometimes, especially in the finance department. When you're grinding, sometimes you may not get a check until you get your next bill, and you have to wait tables and things like that. So what would you say to a person who's aspiring to become an actor who's going through that, hard time?
There's so many different ways to address that. So one of the other things I do as a business and as a businessman is actually consulting. You know, I do small business consulting as well as consult artists, working artists, aspiring artists, and even families who intend, who are trying to get, for instance, parents who are trying to get their children, right, in the business, who really have no clue what it takes. But one of the major things that people fail to realize and recognize, again, just to try to stay in the space that I think you're asking me to focus on as a working artist, what people fail to recognize is that that's still business. They think, oh, you know, I just want to sing. You know, all I care about, I just want to sing. You know, I'm not worried about all the rest of that. I don't need to know all that. As long as I can sing, that's all that matters. And that's not all that matters. Right. Because there's a whole bunch of people who can sing. And when you finally really enter the market, for a better way, you know, like a better way to put it, when you enter the market and realize how many other people can sing, then what makes you unique? Right. What is it that, what's your competitive advantage, to put it in business terms? So what we fail to do, what many people fail to do as artists who want to make a living in any kind of creative field, they fail to recognize that they are a business, they're a product, they're, sometimes you, at some point, you'll need to actually form a company in a corporation. I'm incorporated. I've got 4 companies, but the company that governs what we call is my loan out corporation is under a different name, not my personal name. And when I'm hired to do a show, a movie, a play, whether I'm on Broadway, off Broadway, whatever, you're actually contracting me through my company. All right? So, therefore, I'm also self-employed. So I'm the president and CEO of that corporation. So, but I'm also the product. So the challenge is, how do you learn how to run a company that you're in charge of, yet you're also the product that has to be marketed, that has to be developed, that has to be nurtured, that has to be diversified, which is part of where you become, oh, Lamman, you're this and you're that, and you know how to do that, right? So that's diversification. So basically, even if you want to be a professional artist or anything, whatever you want to do, that you plan to make a living at it, and in particular, if you actually want to be the boss of it, you need to learn business. You need to learn how to run a business. You need to either go to business school or find a local community college, junior college certification program, something. There are programs sometimes that are offered through the local Better Business Bureaus. There's something called SBDCs, which are Small Business Development Centers, that are based at universities, you know, around the country. And that falls under the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, all right, which is a federally funded entity which provides free money and grants and consulting services and business development services. So there's a variety of different places that you can actually get a lot of the help that you need, again, to find capital, to learn how to write a business plan. Most people think they got a great idea, and they just start doing it. They have no idea all the things that it really takes to really not just do it effectively to begin with, but to sustain it, to keep it going. God forbid you actually start to grow. You know, I've had a business that I actually had to divest because we were actually growing faster than we were capable of keeping up with, which was poor planning on our part. But most people are like, oh, I'll worry about that problem when I get to it. No, you need to get to it before you have that problem. So again, this is about being prepared. It's about being able to be a step ahead so that you're thinking preventively and proactively, not just jumping off the cliff and you're like, oh, well, I mean, if there's something soft to land on, I'm good. If not, what, you crash and burn? So we've got to really, again, back to earlier statements as well, the priority really needs to be education and training so that you're properly prepared to do these things successfully. So even before you get out there on stage, what should you be doing? If you're a singer, like I said, taking voice lessons. You should also be, I believe, you should be taking dance lessons and maybe learning, I don't know, martial arts, learn different languages. So then, as you evolve as a singer and as a vocalist, you can actually start doing other music in different parts of the world. You can produce, write, arrange, right? So you gotta think broader than just, I want to be Beyonce or something. I mean, whatever. And some of these other little kids out right now, I don't even know who some of them are, nor do I can't even understand what half of them are saying. But I will give some of them credit that although I don't always like the images, I don't always agree with the content, some of these young people are actually very savvy from a business perspective. And most of them, however, aren't. They're being used, they're being manipulated, their images and that product is being shaped by somebody else, not by them. They don't have any ownership of the music, of the brand, of the messaging, or of the trajectory of their lives, their career, or them as a product. Somebody else owns it. You know, and I've heard countless stories of folks who, the number one thing I hear from folks who have been, if they even have the opportunity to be in the business for a while, the number one thing I hear is, I wish I had learned the business. I wish I really paid more attention to what I was getting into. Because everybody wants the freedom to just go out there and do their thing. But truthfully, the bigger hassle to a large degree is the business of it. But that's also one of the most important parts. It's just like trying to live in a house with a rocky foundation. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Because, you know, the big bad wolf can come and, you know, blow your house down. You know, because it's not standing on anything. So that's one of the number one things I try to educate a lot of people about is even though you may want to be in this industry, it has its peaks and valleys, it has its seasons, even when you are working. So for me as an actor, you know, we got Greenleaf fans in here, right? So I'm only filming Greenleaf 6 months out of the year, all right? So the other 6 months, then what? You think we just chilling, living fat, and I'm so rich, I can just do whatever I want to do? Now, it all depends. If I'm managing my money right, then yes, I can say, you know what? I don't want to work this month. I'm just going to relax, I'm going to chill, I'm going to decompress, I'm going to get my life together from being, you know, going hard for the last 6 months. I'm going to give myself some time, maybe take a little vacation, you know, whatever, right? Taking care of you is good, taking care of home, whatever. But then there should be, like any off season, we don't always know if we have a job again the next season. You sometimes have to wait to see if your show is going to get picked up. So if it doesn't, then that 6 months is going to have to sustain you maybe for 3 years, not another 6 months. For some people, it's not just 3 years, it's 5, it's 7, it's 12. So in the meantime, what other skills do you have? What other streams of income can you create? Maybe you go back to school to learn something else, retrain yourself in something else, so that you got other hustles. Again, diversification, right? Or Greenleaf is a television show, right? I can be on stage in a play. I can do, a movie. Matter of fact, you guys see these flying around. This is one of my films, First Impression, that premiered on BET actually last week. But that's a film we did 4 years ago, right? So if you think that's your big break, by the time anybody even sees it, what do you think you're supposed to do? Just wait around and twiddle your thumbs for 4 years until it comes out? That doesn't make any sense. So you've got to have a plan for sustainability, to keep the wheels turning, to keep yourself out there, to be relevant, to retrain, again, to diversify, to see it in yourself as a product. It's new to the market. People have to even know you even exist, let alone to understand what the benefits are, what the features of that product are, so on and so on. So when you understand business a certain way, you're able to approach it and understand how to navigate, if you want to actually do this in a way that has some sustainability. But most people aren't prepared for when things change. It's not about things going wrong, because I'm in a great situation. I got a hit show, one of the hottest shows on television right now. But technically, soon as we stop working, I'm unemployed.
Wow.
I'm unemployed. Technically, I'm unemployed right now. But we just got picked up. But even still, I know some people like, oh, we're coming back for season 4?
Yeah,
oh, I'm balling. I know I can get another check starting January. Now they just start throwing money away because they're taking for granted the money that they assume, right, is coming. But you can also get fired at any time. You know, you can get hurt. Something could happen to you. So again, have you prepared? Is your business in order relative to who your beneficiaries are on your life insurance, on your bank accounts, on pension and health, whatever, right? So what if something did happen and those checks never came? What kind of position would my family be in? I mean, not to think only worst case scenario, but you gotta think ahead and have a plan. So a lot of people take a lot of things for granted, but you have, the point is, you are a business. You have to learn business, and sometimes, even when you want to be the boss, sometimes, especially as an artist, you're also the product. So you have to learn how to do both things. You have to see yourself in both positions. So at the top of the pyramid, and sometimes all the way down here at the same time. And trust me, people talk to us like this sometimes too. Y'all think we spoiled, and people only sweat us and talk to us like we're big time celebrities. There are plenty of folks who just is like, oh, you ain't nobody, you're stupid, you're just a pretty face, you're just talent, you know, you just do that. You don't know, you know, you're not a boss. You know what I mean? They talk to you in a very interesting and deal with you in a very interesting way. But you've got to understand why. Because they see you as the product that doesn't have any real value otherwise. So you've got to know how to navigate in both positions. Business, business, business. Learn business. Go to business school something.
So like I told you, did he not just drop some nuggets? Did he not just drop some nuggets? So we're going to keep the conversation going. DeAndre Rucker. You going somewhere? Yeah, he finna come on up here. Come on up here, DeAndre. So guys, DeAndre Rucker is what we call. Now is this your cousin? Y'all cousins now. They're cousins, guys. You know, hey, I'm just saying, we gotta support them. Anyways, the reason why I called you up here, first of all, you and your amazing wife, come on, baby. Yeah. Have a seat, Mama. She's in the middle. She's in the middle. So this power couple right here, I mean, literally the epitome of relationship goals. You know how we look at Hollywood, everybody wants to see Beyonce and Jay-Z, which they want to make it. You see Michelle and Barack. And you know, you see couples like that are doing things. This couple is literally, that I can actually confirm, they're killing the game right now. And they're building a foundation for their children, for things to come. So my question to you both is, what inspired you to like, listen, we're not gonna work with somebody else, we're gonna build this together. So just drop some nuggets for me. I'm gonna start with you. Hey y'all, now how about that beauty bar next door? And tell me what you do over there too, you know, because y'all need to come back.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So yeah, we have a beauty bar next door. We go beauty bar. We do body waxing, facials, pedicures, eyelash extensions, all your beauty needs.
So you guys are parents, you're doing your thing. So like, what kind of inspired you? What advice would you give to a new couple that's looking to build? You know, like, hey, we want to be an entrepreneur. You guys got 8, 9 businesses. How do you do it?
So the first thing to know is that you guys are on the same team. A lot of people, you know, kind of do that before, but once you realize that you're on the same team, that keeps everything going and stay in your lane. So I know I'm gonna do that one thing, I'm gonna stay in my lane, and you stay in this lane together, we make it happen.
He said true. So what we want to do, this is their establishment. And as you can see, they put the sexy on everything they touch. So that being said, so another question for you. So like as a, you know, the wife of a powerful man, what advice would you give to a woman? How do you deal with that? You know, just being real. You know, like, how do you deal with, you know, the mental capability of you're the wife of a powerful man. So what advice would you give to a woman that's starting out in a situation like that?
Say it's real hard because the time it's real hard because a lot of times the time is like put towards work a lot. So I just say know, you guys have to make some time for each other, even just for a few minutes of the day. And just be real supportive. That's all you can do, is be real supportive, because a lot of times it takes a lot of time in the beginning to make more time at the end. So,
No, that was perfect.
okay.
That was perfect. I got one more question that DeAndre gonna answer. So, you support your wife. When I met him, he was talking about you. And I'm not just saying that because I met you. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I say. Me and Kevin was laughing the last time we hung out over there at the shop. I said, DeAndre, I'm really bad. I know who the real boss is. So I laughed about that in the car. But anyway, that being said, DeAndre, you support your wife in everything she does. What advice do you give people in your building for somebody who's supporting their wife? Who would you tell them first?
That's what I'm talking about. No, the reason I was talking about, I keep it straight 100.
Keep it 100, we family.
I don't do none of that. So that's why a lot of times I don't like having money. But one thing, as far as supporting my wife, one thing you gotta do as a man, I realize, as you say, sometimes you gotta stay in your lane. I'm not a great financial person. She handles the finances. So I'm quick to say, tomorrow we open up the business. I got an idea. And that's kind of how the cigar lounge came. We went out of the country, went to a cigar lounge, came back home, I went to other cigar lounge and said, I don't like none of them, they not like out of the country. We came back, and said, open the cigar lounge. She's like, okay, hold on. You got this other business we running. How you gonna do that? But then I kind of like, well, you don't let me have a basement no more. You know, but as we have to understand that women, as they say, they are the nurturers. She knows how to nurture certain things. I don't. I'm the type of person that you say, oh, the business fell up. I'm sure you will. Shut up, keep it moving. Because that's basically what you need. A lot of us don't have someone telling us, suck it up, keep going. It's always goes oh, it'll be okay. It's not going to be okay if you give up. That's just me.
Yes, you did. So come on, give a round of applause to the Rucker. I'm sorry, guys, you can finish enjoying all day. I just want to make sure everybody knows. Support their businesses. They black owned. They doing their thing. They classy, professional. Woo, you get like that. So the next person I'm going to talk to is he's standing here, Brian Pickett. Have a seat in the middle. Brian Pickett, Pickett, get on home. And Brian is one of our sponsors this evening, so I definitely wanted to make sure that one of the things about the sponsor, all of our sponsors here this evening, they're good at one thing, and they're running a business. So if you're looking to run a business, if you're looking to put some coins in your pocket, and I'm also going to ask you guys for some money before we leave here, because this is a fundraiser, we got to get this man elected. So if you want to make checks, you got to check before we get started to Mama Bailey.
Make those checks payable to citizens to elect Kevin Bailey.
And I'm telling you, no donation is too big, too small. Even if you give $25 to the cause.
That's right.
Just, every little bit helps. So I just wanted to put that little shameless plug in there.
And they can do it online also.
Oh, you can do it online too. Go to Elect Kevin Bailey and just click donate. You do it from your cell phones too, just in case anybody was asking. Wink, wink. But anyway, Brian Pickett Funeral Home. I've been knowing Brian a very long time. He's a dear friend of mine. So I want to definitely tell people who you are, what you do, where you at, and then I'll get to the questions.
Well, first of all, good evening, everyone. To all of my fellow Illinoisans and guests from out of state, we welcome you on this evening, first of all. And my name is Brian Pickett. I'm the owner of the Brian P. Pickett Funeral Group. As we know in this industry, there's a group of other people that's trying to call the funeral homes. What they're trying to do is monopolize on the industry so that we're unable to afford to bury our loved ones. Well, I've actually formed an umbrella company, which is the Brian P. Pickett Funeral Group, which currently has 2 funeral homes in the city of Chicago. Those of you that may be familiar with the near-north side of Chicago, there used to be a funeral home over there on North Avenue in Sedgwick called Johnson Funeral Home that has been open at that time when I purchased it for 63 years. I purchased it 16 years ago from the old man Johnson. And now we're getting ready to celebrate actually 76 years to be exact of open. We're currently no longer on the north side of Chicago, we're on the west side. At 50 just opened up a brand new location, there you go, at 5301 West on Madison Street. We've been there a year. I'm a single dad, raising a beautiful young lady who's my vice president, Brianna Pickett. She's 16 years old.
Come on now.
And
Did y'all hear that? A 16-year-old owner.
Yeah. She actually trains other young people that's interested in the industry. One thing we learned is that in any business, we're so busy keeping ourselves doing other things versus thinking about our young people. And I'm very big on our young people. So anyone that has an interest in the funeral field, as well as other things that I do, we take time out with our young people. As far as
So guys, as you heard, Brian Pickett owns a funeral home. He bought a funeral home that was in business for 63 years. He owned it for 16 years, turned it into his name, and made his daughter, his 16-year-old daughter, the co-owner. Now, check this out. I just want to make sure you heard that. She is a 16-year-old funeral home owner. And let me ask the daughter of a funeral director. Let me just do the dollars for you real quick. An average funeral costs about $5,000. Brian doing about 5-6 funerals a week. I'm talking, you see the white Rolls Royce going down the hearse, like this is him out of style, you know? But the thing is, the idea, what I'm trying to instill into you guys tonight is pour into your children. Pour into your youth. This man just gave a little girl, he didn't even know, $5,000 to go to school. $5,000 because he believed in her mission. Brian, let me tell you something. I've been knowing this man for a long time. I've seen him start businesses. I've seen him drop thousands on businesses for other people. And guess what? You walk away with class and integrity, even if they can't pay you back. That's the importance of generational wealth. So this is what I was trying to tell you. So Brian, when you pour into your daughter, give us, you a dad. I'm a dad. Okay, he's a dad. My question to you is, as a father, how important? Why is it important? I know it's cliche, but I want to hear from somebody who's actually doing it. To invest in your child's future. And not their clothes, not their, you're investing in her future. Why would you opt to give her a business over a Mercedes-Benz?
well, first of all, I want to share with each and every one of you that it's imperative that we start raising our kids when they're born. The unfortunate part is that many of us begin to raise our kids when they turn 16, 17 years old. It's too late at that time. It's important. Why? Just the same thing as along in the funeral industry. Just as sure as we're born, we're old enough to die. We're born into this world preparing for death, believe it or not. And I know many of us don't want to look at it like that. When we come here, especially when we have children, it's our responsibility to prepare them for when we're gone. And what I'm saying is that you have to begin to lay the foundation while they're young. My daughter and her mom, we were married. And along the way, there were some differences. And even during the time that I was in my daughter's life, I was going to every parent-teacher conference. I was at every game that she did, every event, every piano class, every doctor's appointment. I did everything. As a matter of fact, I didn't even let her mama breastfeed her. I'm sorry. You know, at that time, my wife, she liked to go out. You know, those were the ways that these were some of the things that she loved to do. So I chose to just raise my daughter from the way that I was raised, still having a mother and father today that's still together. And so, it was along the way, I should say, the course gave me my daughter. They, after appointing a guardian ad litem, and they awarded me complete custody of her because as the guardian ad litem went out, they began to ask questions. And everything alluded to the dad being in everywhere. And I knew at that time, we want to have children, but we don't want to take responsibility and do the things that's needed to be done. It's imperative to do this because what greater gift to us as parents to see our children doing well. We don't want to see our children, homeless. We don't want to see our children living in poverty. We don't want them to grow up and understand this. Not everyone is meant to be owners. Not everyone is meant to be owners. But I can tell you, if you do have an owner spirit, then you can train your child up to be the same way. So that when they grow old, that they too will continue to be able to prosper. My daughter was my right hand, my pride and joy. And what I'm saying is that when these are our babies, women that birthed, men that assisted in the way that we did, what greater gift. And it's imperative to because even after we're gone, they're going to continue to carry on what we present. I ask many people often, I ask, do you know your great-great-great-great-grandfather? And no one can ever answer that question. Why? Because they didn't make a big impression on your life. But if you go on and you begin to make, whether it's a business or whatever it is that you're doing, you begin to lay a foundation that from years to come, that your great-grandchildren and great-grandchildren and their grandchildren will know you because you laid a strong foundation. So even me taking on a funeral home that been here now for 76 years, and I continue to let his name ring, the man that I purchased from. But now, I've been out there long enough, and not only just in the funeral industry, but me being in the political arena, me now having my community political organization, whether we get into the youth. We get down here because along the way, one of the biggest issues is that, first of all, I'm going to piggyback to something earlier that I wanted to add, and that's going to allude to what I'm about to say, is that before getting to anything, you got to find your passion. You got to make sure it's your passion. And one of the biggest issues that when we were young, at one point, we said, well, I want to be a doctor, I want kids' lives. And another thing, one of the biggest issues that we have today is mental issues. Mental issues, undiagnosed. And so a lot of times the children or people are not able to grasp there's something wrong. And there are ways to give them help. There are ways to give them therapy without medication. But we have to be patient. We have to be patient, my brothers and sisters. We cannot be impatient. And I'm telling you, we can conquer much if we continue to do that.
Thank you so much, Brian. Give a round of applause. Thank you, Brian. Melissa, peace, guys. Where's Q? Q Johnson?
Where you at?
Q Johnson. She downstairs, she working. And Ebony just left. Yeah, she'll be on, she has a show, we're media girls. And one thing I want to say to you, I was trying to get you some flowers, but I was filming my TV show today, and I had to come directly from here. But this lady right here, we were on the phone, I said, dining together.
Yes.
3 o'clock in the morning, like, y'all, what we gonna do? And the thing is, I couldn't even get that type of love from blood family sometimes.
Come on now, say that.
This woman right here, and Q, and Ebony, we on text message threads. I got invested in this, they invested in this. This woman right here, and Q Johnson, and Ebony, them 3 women right there, when I didn't sleep, they didn't sleep. This woman right here, Q Johnson, and Ebony, went above and beyond and worked with me to make this event happen. So I just want to get a round of applause. It is foreign.
And that's sad. I just said to her that what she just said is typically foreign. You don't really hear women collaborating with other women. We're typically in the same industry, especially. And so to receive that type of love and as opposed to competing with each other is something that we need to embrace and start doing. We can be so much greater together. I love you too. I admire you. You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sis. Hey, Cutie, how are you? Come on up here and have a seat. Take a seat on the hot couch next to 5 minutes. So, thank God. I want you to tell us who you are and what you do. This is one of our sponsors.
All right. I am CEO and owner of GirlVersion.net, and it is a media outlet. It focuses on a lot of women entrepreneurs in Chicago, throughout the U.S. I have a portion of my blog that's called Money Moves, and it's basically to put information out there about a lot of women who start their businesses, how they started, and just connecting, female power, and connecting that to women who are already established and women who are becoming established. And as you were just speaking about Melissa previously, I've been working with her. I met her at Chicago Fashion Week, and we were there filming. And she's walking around. She's like, "Are you recording?" I'm like, "Yes." And she's just like, I've never seen a lot of women doing this. And that was the inspiration behind my blog, because there's a lot of industries that women are not very predominant in. You don't really see them in it. One of them being photography, one of them being, I record and I edit and I write and I do everything basically with my blog, and it's empowering to be able to, like Melissa was saying, just to be able to work with other women and just push it out there and help each other build foundation.
So how can we help you? And how can we find you?
So the website is www.girlversion.net. On social media, Facebook, Instagram, GirlVersion. Support, share the blog, get involved. If you know someone has a business, we write up articles, we do interviews, we edit, we basically do everything in the industry that would help push someone else's business out there and also help us over.
Thank you so much. Gorgeous. Thank you. You are perfectly imperfect Miller twins. I'm going to ask the twins to come up front. I know you've been thinking you've seen those. It's too long. I'm just about to stand up here because they're so darn cute. Don't they look just alike? This is called the Lamman twins. Tell us about your business, what you do, how you do it. Kevin gave you your spoon, how to speak. What you do, how you do it, say hi to Lamman, and how can we help you?
Hi, so I'm Carice, and I'm Crystal. We're the Miller twins. Of course, like they said, we have a business called I Am You Are Perfectly Imperfect, LLC. And within this business, this is a this is the talking swing, so let her talk, or she's gonna take the mic from me. So what we do is we bring awareness to different things that are going on in the city of Chicago. So we have an event that's called Creative Closet, where we donate just-used clothing to domestic violence survivors, women, men, children. We also do Stop the Violence to Hoop It Out. So we have all the children come out, we have basketball tournaments. We do a lot of different things. We feed the homeless, we clothe the homeless, and we do it not for the light or the limelight. We do it because we genuinely want to help. We believe in the gift of helping. We have a toy drive coming up. We have a nomination of 200 children, and they are coming in, people from Florida, New York, Michigan, where we're going to be delivering toys to all these different families. So we need help. So we are having, okay, go ahead. So if you are in town, Chicago, we'll be at the Martini Linger from 8 to 2, and you can come in. Entry fee is a tour. So we also will have a basketball tournament, which is December 8th at Russell Square Park. You can follow us on social media, Crystal Therese Millen. You can see all the details. And you can just bring a toy and help us be a blessing to children. And we're also two-time authors. There's Power in Your I Am and False Become Things. And we also are radio personalities on iHeartRadio, Intellectual Radio. So follow us. Yes, so Crystal, K-R-I-S-T-L-E. Therese, K-E-R-E-S-E, Millen, M-I-L-L-E-N. And you'll find everything about us. Our 9 to 5 is for educators. We work with 6 colleges, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
All right, hey.
So, I am a member, leadership member, board member, whatever you want to call it. I'm a member of an organization called the 40 Under 40 Young Women's Professional League, and I see a lot of my sisters in the building. If you were 40 under 40, let me get some noise real quick. So what I'll do first is I'm going to bring up my bookie. And the founder, the true boss, that's what I'm going to do, Miss Teresa Parnell, and give us a noise. You already know this. Have a seat in the middle next to Lamman. That's the bestie right there. Have a seat, Kevin. That's the bestie right there. You know that. I told you I was bringing guests. But anyway, Grace, I want you to tell everybody about the 40 under 40. And then I also want to tell you about a surprise. You want to tell everybody about a surprise that we're going to do tonight, right? Okay. And yeah, so tell everybody about the 40 under 40 and the gala that's coming up.
All right, hello everyone. Hey. I know I'm the person about energy. So my name is Teresa Reese Francis Parnell, and I am the founder and executive director of the 40 Under 40 Young Women's Professional League. And basically, the Young Women's Professional League is a league that galvanizes young millennial women between the ages of 25 and 39 around the concept of service, right? So every year we induct 40 young rising leaders in every industry, and we pretty much spend the year serving. Our core values are service, philanthropy, sisterhood, and leadership development. It's all about developing young women leaders. One of the things that I always say, if I poll this room, probably everybody in here has something they sell, right? You can sell me a book, a t-shirt, a class, something, right? And so my goal was not to only connect millennial women to what they serve, but to connect them to what they sell, but how you serve. And so that is the whole goal about galvanizing young women and putting our star power, our personal power around really impacting our community and really showing ourselves strong as young women by being impactful in our community. So we have our 4th annual gala coming up on November 14th. We will be at the Gustavo Museum from 6 to 9 p.m. And we have another 40 amazing young women that we'll be honoring on that night. And so we're excited about what we're doing and where we're going. We're going to have a lot of major announcements on that night. So you really want to be in the room. I always hear women say, how can I be a part? How can I be a part? Well, we have created something new just for women who are not inducted so that they can still be connected to the league. But you got to be at the award ceremony to hear about it, all right? So, am I telling them what's going on? Am I? Okay. I'm good.
what we're gonna do, that gala, I'm gonna tell you something. If you've ever been to that gala, you know we show out.
Yes.
We show out. And guess who the host is this year, y'all?
Look at you.
And guess who's sponsoring, y'all?
Teamwork makes the dream work. I said teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right, y'all. Y'all don't want no smoke. So anyway, what we're gonna do is, that's why we were so adamant about you guys, signing up and, make sure you sign in when you came in, because one person tonight is gonna receive a pair of general admission tickets to the 40th Awards Gala. There's somebody else tonight go win a ticket to go see Obama. Who wanna go see Obama? So y'all know y'all need to donate to this damn campaign. Now, this is not learning Obama tomorrow. This is not a game. This is not a game. So thank you so much, Pooh.
Yes, thank you so much.
Everybody who physically put money down for Kevin Gates today, whoever physically put money down, whoever donated, has already entered into the raffle to win tickets to go see Obama tomorrow. Oh, okay. Y'all don't have to So, Laisha Fox. Okay, Laisha Fox, come on up here. How you doing? It's on my 40 and 46 stars, y'all. This was so fun, don't you?
Yes, yes.
Hello, everybody. So I won't be very long, but I'll tell you that I am elated that some of my 40 under 40 sisters are here, and I have the honor of serving as a board member for this illustrious organization. But I know this spoke about generational wealth, and so I am the CEO and the founder of LLF Consulting. And LLF Consulting is a professional development firm, and we have two target clients. One of our clients are corporate professionals, and so these are individuals that struggle to climb the corporate ladder. And then I also assist with, like you, aspiring entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized business owners, and I help them grow and scale businesses. And so I see many beautiful black women in the building. One of my favorite Forbes articles, it was written in October of 2014. And the title of that article was for Black Women Millionaires Usually. And if I took away nothing from that article, we monetize on what we know versus what we do. Again, we monetize on what we know versus what we do. And so there's so many of us in the room today, and we possess a wealth of skills. And so it's time for us to monetize and start capitalizing on those skills. And so I always tell my clients, you have to plan the work and work the plan. And so as Mr. Rucker mentioned today, a lot of businesses fail because of lack of planning. They lack the fundamentals of what it means to have a sustainable business. And so that is what my business does. So again, I am Laisha. I am the owner of LLF Consulting. And so I have a 9 to 5, and I also have 6 to 10. I have a side hustle. Yes. But I'm also, I work for a global company in which I am the only African American woman in senior management. And so once upon a time, I used to say I'm the token, and now I proudly say I am the token and I don't mind. And so, again, for those of you that struggle in corporate America, I get it, right? You're going to work and you're missing milestone moments because you don't have a work-life balance. Many of us have been in corporate and have not had a merit increase forever. And we know that the cost of living is continuing to increase. And so I assist with helping us define what your career trajectory looks like, because many of us don't know. We're going to work every day because we have to pay the bills. And so we have to stop living for the now, and we have to secure the future. So maybe you should very strategic.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Christine, you want to say something? Go on.
Yeah, and it's a perfect segue there's so much wisdom and great advice happening. But I'm going to piggyback on something she said in particular, which it kind of segues back to something else. So, her mentioning that it's about what you know, not about what you do. One of the things that a lot of us do, again, it kind of goes back to, there are a lot of misconceptions about what wealth creation even is, right? So the definition of what wealth even is very different. For some people, they think wealth is having money. No, wealth is building money. Wealth is how you shape money, how money grows for you. They think they got a nice car, nice looking things. These most tangible things, especially actual tangible cash. Cash is the lowest form of money they have, you know? So a lot of folks spend a lot of attention on showing off what they think wealth is, as opposed to playing the long game, the strategic game of building wealth over time. And there are ways to do that. There are very deliberate, intentional ways to do that. So one of the things that really resonated that she said as well is the fact that, what you know, not what you do. One of the things I say, take a position, for example, or chart your course based on what you'll learn, not what you'll earn. Okay? So a big part of why people don't quite accomplish the goals that they have is because there's a misconception about not just what to do, but how to do it. All right? So the people who are successful, again, you need to redefine what that means. But the people who are successful in the way that you all probably want to be successful, many times you're going about it the wrong way because there are misconceptions about what that means and how to get there. So one of the things that I learned a long time ago, thank God, and again, thanks for access to people like this and forums like this, is getting some of these other little gems. But I learned a long time ago that it's very, very valuable to start considering how you chart your course of the development of you as a product. See yourself as an asset, right? Not necessarily just a physical product, but you as an asset is based upon what you know, what you've done, and that takes time. What you actually know are things that you actually spent time doing. So that's experience, it's cultivation, it's also people who can say, oh yeah, he knows that because I did that with him before. Or yeah, she knows how to do that because look, there's evidence of past performance, of my connection to them, or I've witnessed what they've done. So it's not about the fact that it's dependent on what other people think of you, but it's the fact that if you actually know what you're doing, it's icing on the cake that other people can confirm that, right? And that's documented in certain ways. So eventually, sometimes not right away, and not as soon as you like it to, eventually what you have learned will manifest itself into what you will earn. But you gotta play the longer game. I know people who have taken jobs that really, in some people's eyes, were demotions, but based upon how they could expand their brand, expand their knowledge, diversify what it is they're capable of doing and actually capable of doing. What ends up happening is, you guys have heard, take a few steps back so you can lead forward. It's that kind of thing as well. So that's why when I talk about, you might see yourself as unemployed, but see it as an opportunity to retrain. See it as an opportunity to develop other skills. See it as an opportunity to start developing maybe a partnership with somebody that can take. What if you were in business with this brother 15 years ago? Right? The development of the relationship over that amount of time, now that certain things are starting to happen, you guys can move together to do that in a way you wouldn't have been able to do that. But if you've been wasting time for 15 years, you'll be in the same situation you were 15 years ago. So, there's so much we can say and what we can talk about, but I really want to, if I just leave you with that, if I leave you with one thing, just reconsider how to chart your course professionally by considering taking advantage of opportunity based on what you will learn versus what you will earn. Because a lot of times the money is just about the here and now, but it's not really, you're not really strategically putting yourself in a more competitive position in the long term.
Thank you so much, Lamman. Okay, one thing. I want you to say something to this lady right here, Peggy Briggs. Peggy Briggs, I know he gotta go, y'all. So we're gonna continue this conversation. This woman right here,
Say my name again.
Peggy Briggs. She loves Jesus. He loves her.
Well, I just love cart your course. Can we all say that for Mr.
Cart your
Rucker?
course.
Cart
your
course.
Yes.
And my company is, I can relate to what he was saying because I had to start a business because of a health scare.
Go ahead, girl.
And I had nothing else to do. I was a pharmacist.
Not just a health scare, tell the truth.
I was in a coma for a couple of days. Couple of heart attacks.
26 days.
Oh my God.
Couple of heart attacks and a couple of strokes. But at any rate, I was a registered pharmacist and I had nothing else to do. After I woke up. Amazing thing happened. I woke up. And I say that again. Real quick, command that room is what I created because I think it's all in your voice. And there's power and the medicine is in your voice. I almost lost my voice. So command that room is the business. The next workshop is January the 6th. Get in touch with me, PeggyRiggins.com. Culture course. Get it together. Sisters and brothers. Command that room. PeggyRiggins.com. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He will. And I have an anniversary in January. Yes,
All right. So I want you guys literally to give Lamman Rucker for one round of applause. Right here in the building. Purple ribbon chef. This lady, we got Lupus Warriors.
Yes.
She's turning her warriorship into a brand. What are we talking about?
Hello. Everybody enjoy the food. Yes, we did. What's the
I know everybody lined up that macaroni and cheese. We want to do some cute stuff for y'all tonight, but I was like, they gotta have that jerk macaroni and cheese, that fried chicken, and but people don't eat chicken, that sauteed vegetable. Yes. So Purple Ribbon Chef is my brand that was started because I am a lupus survivor as well as a domestic violence survivor. And actually last Sunday I just did my book release for my debut book, Purple Tears, A Domestic Violence Journey.
All right,
So I'm very excited about that. I am excited to be here tonight amongst all of the amazing entrepreneurs tonight. And I'm so excited that I've been hearing so many great things about the food today because food has been my passion. I went back to food due to me not being able to work, as we heard tonight, not being able to work due to my lupus. So I was like, what can I go back on not being able to be in a corporate setting anymore? And that was my culinary career. I went to Johnson Wales University in Miami, Florida for baking and pastry arts and culinary arts here at Washburn with Kennedy King College here in Chicago. And my passion is cooking.